So I actually just got done doing some river smallmouth bass fishing for a series that I'm working on, but while I was fishing, I noticed there's a lot of sunfish around here, there's a lot of rock bass, there's just a lot of diversity of species, and so I thought it'd be a fun opportunity to spend the last couple hours of my day just using ultralight only. I rigged up a little burro bug there, which is a micro crawfish presentation, and I trust that it'll catch just about anything that swims. So without further ado, we're gonna ultralight fish, and we're just gonna catch whatever we can catch. Let's get started. What's gonna be the first species that decides it wants to eat this thing? There's a fish. Dinky little smallmouth. I've seen so many of these fish swimming around throughout the day. I'm like, I might as well just have some fun and catch a few of these. Now, obviously I want to catch something bigger than that, but either way, there's just a ton of juvenile bass around here. And I figure the best way to catch them is just use a little micro crawfish presentation. And I have a feeling they're gonna go nuts for this thing. The rod that I'm using today is one that I've done a video on. It's the Yamaga Blanks Blue Current. This is a great little JDM ultralight rod. It was actually a gift, and I really, really like this rod. It's 5'10", it's got a good fast action, it's super lightweight, very portable, so I really like this rod. I've got it paired up with a little size 1000 reel, and then I've actually got some Suffix nano braid on there that I've been kind of experimenting with. This is a 3-pound test, and I've got it rigged up to, I think, a 4-pound leader. There's one. Another micro smallie. What do you know? Okay, nothing to write home about, but it's a fish, and I'll take it. There's one. What's this gonna be? It's gotta be a smallmouth. Wait, no, I think it's a bluegill. That's what I wanted. Little sunfish. That's a pure bluegill right there. And he's not a bad one. I don't know what it is about river bluegill, but they seem to become like, they're shorter and more round. I don't know why that's the case, but it must just be the way that they have to grow in this ecosystem. Pretty bluegill though, man. It's like a little male. See ya, buddy. You don't have to just shoot docks. You can shoot under shade lines and tree limbs and all that stuff. There's a fish. That's a nice sunfish. What is that? Well, that's a rock bass. That explains it. There you go. Well, we've got 4 fish and we've got 3 species. That's exactly what I wanted to get into, my friends. Multi-species. Little Rocco, nothing big, but put up a nice little fight on the ultralight. There's one. Yes, sir. Rock bass hanging out behind a tree. That's about the most river thing ever. They love sitting in shallow water behind little root balls or tree limbs, that sort of stuff. Those rock bass, man. Gotta love them. There's all this dang cotton in the water, and it's getting stuck to my braided fishing line. That is one of the negatives about braided fishing line, is this dang cotton really sticks to it. So this time of year, it can be a pain in the butt. You know, it'll stick to fluoro and mono a little bit too, but it gets really bad on braided fishing line. There he is. There's a good smallie. See how dark this fish is? Look at this. That's what I've been wanting. I've had a couple fish look at it, but then I spook them when I get the kayak too close. And this one, I saw him and he was behind it, and I eventually got him to just suck it in. There you go. That's what I was looking for right there. Nice little chunky smallmouth. Not a big fish necessarily, but it's an awesome fish for ultralight, as you saw. He put up a heck of a fight, and there you go. Poked him right in the nose. All right, bud. Thanks for the fight. That was awesome. See ya. Man, I know there's more fish like that around, but I've been spooking a lot of them. I feel like, you know, unfortunately, I'm not being able to cast very far because there's so much cotton in the water and it keeps bogging down my line. And so I'm having to make short casts because my line is just getting all sorts of messed up. And I feel like I need to be able to make a little bit longer cast because the fish are spooking when I get my kayak too close. That's like a perfect little ultralight river smallmouth. Probably about 12 to 14 inches, man. It doesn't get much funner than that for ultralight. I mean, obviously it'd be cool to catch like, you know, a big giant, but the reality is I'm not necessarily looking for those fish. I'm just looking to catch, I just want to catch quantity of decent fish. Here's another one. This one's coming downstream, so I don't know how big it is. It's just a dink. But again, dink, but he put up a nice little fight for ultralight, so certainly take it. Oh man, there's a nice one. He was under that log jam and I popped it out and he came up and smoked it. Look at that. This is what I was looking for. Another nice little ultralight fish. Hey, jeez Louise. This is why you fish smallmouth, man. They're feisty animals. They are feisty animals. Look at that beautiful fish. Holy smokes. I'm sure my lens is just totally wet right now, so I'm gonna have to wipe that off. Smallmouth bass love to splash their tails right in my face. God made a beautiful fish right there. Oh man, it is warm out here. I gotta say, honestly, it's a little bit slower than I was expecting. I think if I was to upsize my jig just a hair, I might start catching a few more fish quicker, just because I think dropping it down and just being able to maintain the bottom contact would help me a little bit. But I'm super lazy and I don't have that much time to fish, so I don't really feel like re-rigging right this second. I might still do it before the day's through, but for right now, I am catching fish, so I'm not gonna complain. All in all, man, it's nothing crazy. I'm not gonna tell you that I'm out here trying to catch giants. I'm really just trying to come out here and catch some fish on the ultralight. And that's what's so much fun about ultralight. It's not about going out and chasing giants. It's about just having fun. And I can tell you, I'm having fun. Another one. What is this? Is this a rock bass? That's a rock bass. Right up there behind a tree. Like I said, these little meatballs, man, they like hanging out behind those trees. They're all just little ones today. Haven't caught any big rockos. That's okay. There's one. They're all kind of sitting up under stuff. And I think I've kind of got it dialed in now. Like if I can find a log or something, I cast up next to it and I let my bait drift down under, and they're like sitting down under the stuff. And I think that's because the sun's got higher in the sky and these fish have gotten a little bit more reluctant to be out here on the open river. They're trying to find a little bit more shade because it's pretty darn hot. And that's like the third fish that I've been able to replicate that bite on. And I've seen others doing the same thing that I've already spooked. And that's a nice healthy one. Look how fat that fish is. That's a beauty right there, man. Well, I'm figuring something out. All right, see ya, buddy. And I am drifting way downstream. I gotta turn around. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. I just drifted downstream like 50 yards. Oh yeah, there's a decent one. This one kind of came out in the open water. I'm running out of time. I'm glad I've caught at least a couple of them. I need to get going here shortly. But this fish right here, man, I'm just happy we're catching some little 12-inchers, man. This is fun. Doesn't take much to peel drag when you're using 3-pound test. But smallmouth bass, man, it can be 4 inches that's gonna peel drag. See ya, buddy. Dangle with smallmouth bass, man. They are wild, wild fish. You know, pretty simple technique in the grand scheme of things. You know, most of my fish have kind of come up under stuff like I was talking about, kind of drifting it underneath cover. But aside from that, I'm just kind of casting it upstream and just kind of letting it drift along the bottom and just kind of hopping it off the bottom, trying to keep my line semi-taut so that way I can detect bites. Oh, I just had another bite. There he is, haha. That's not gonna be very big. Is that, what is that? What is that? What is that? It's a sunfish, yes. Yes, another bluegill, all right. I knew we were around some bluegill. I've seen a few around here. I pinned that one. He's a small fish, so kind of a harder fish to hook when you're using a slightly larger plastic. You know, that fish would have been a little bit easier to hook on like the Mule Minnow 1.2 because it would have got its mouth around it better. This burro bug, it's not big by any means, but for a bluegill of that size, it's maybe just a little bit large. Fortunately, there's way less cotton here, and my line has kind of got cleared up, so I'm able to cast it further too. Rock bass. I saw a bunch of little rock bass scatter, and this one was brave enough to eat, even though the kayak was right here. Looks like a really fishy spot. You gotta imagine there's something up there. Oh, there's a nice bass. There's a nice bass. Oh my gosh, it's the fish I want. Dadgummit. I just spooked a nice smallmouth. Shoot. That was like a 15-incher. That was like the perfect fish to end on. That's probably not him. No, I think that's a Rocco. Oh, there goes the smallmouth. Yeah, that's a pretty chunky Rocco though. That's my best Rocco. Look at that one, nice and healthy. Chunky boy. That's a thick meatball right there. I better grab a photo. I haven't really caught very many rock bass yet this year. Can you chill? I just want to get a photo. Chill out. Chill, chill, calm down. Little chunk. See you, bud. All right, I'm gonna go fish like one more tree and then I really need to head back to my car. It's been a good day. And like I said, I'm working on another series, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. I'm not entirely sure when it's gonna launch, but I've got a couple videos that I'm working on for it, and I'm gonna try to post them all kind of the same week. So I've kind of got an idea to try to do something a little bit different, so just stay tuned, but there is gonna be a river smallmouth series coming soon. There's a nice fish. What is this? Big old Rocco? It's a big Rocco? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that Rocco. It's a beefcake right there. That's a beefy boy. How about a little beefcake, huh? Okay, I am having a lot of fun, and I feel like I could keep catching a lot of fish, but unfortunately I am running out of time. And also, this camera is gonna die very, very shortly, so that's pretty much my sign that I need to get going. That being said, I am gonna fish my way back to the ramp, and then I'm gonna go home. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can catch a few fish on the downstream float, but if we can't, then I guess this video's over. I'm pretty sure we'll catch at least one more fish though. Let's get back to it. I'm just gonna kind of spot cast at certain points of the trees and just hope that I can find a fish that I didn't. There's one. Yeah, exactly like that. Just find fish that I didn't get on the way up. And that's another Rocco, another dink. I actually just saw a decent smallmouth swim under my kayak too. Look at that little funny guy. He's so small. See you, bud. There's one. Whoa, there's another tiny smallmouth chasing him. That was wild. It's funny how competitive these fish are. Whenever you hook one smallmouth, there's a pretty good chance there's gonna be another one chasing him around trying to get whatever's in his mouth.